That's been there since I got there. Correct answer, Thomas, is yes, of course you can sing that. Yes. Can I try your shoes, please?
Just out the door. Yeah. Out the door to the left. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Cameron, and on behalf of the Scouts SA Youth Commissioner team, I would like to welcome you all to the Scouts SA 2026 AGM. Before we begin today, the team at Scouts SA would like to acknowledge the land that we meet on today is the traditional lands of the Kaurna people, and we acknowledge the elders past and present. Thank you for all of your attendance tonight. Before we continue, I would like to point out the bathrooms just out that door, and the exits also out that door. We would also like to welcome Mayor Glenn Doherty, City of Playford, and acknowledge all the others that have joined tonight.
We would like to thank Tyson Wanham Pappen, Group Leader of First Salisbury Scout Group, and his group as well, for welcoming the branch to this amazing Scout Hall. The First Salisbury Scout Group has a long history within the Salisbury community. The troop originally met in rooms located beneath the timber grandstands at the Salisbury Oval. When the grandstand was scheduled for demolition, the troop needed to find a new place to meet. Around 1960, the Scouts moved to the old Citrus Growers Cooperative packing sheds in James Street, located next to the cemetery where the City of Salisbury Civic Centre now stands. The building became the group's headquarters, and members even added stonework to improve the structure. However, when the Parabank Shopping Centre development began, the Scouts once again needed to relocate. In response, the City of Salisbury provided a new location as part of a recreation project. The group moved into this facility in 1972, which continues to be used by Scouts today. By the early 1970s, the group had become a very active group. In 1973, leaders Dave Rayner and Tug Wilson launched the Group Gang Show, later known as Scout Showers, to raise funds for a winter camp. The production grew into a long-running youth theatre program involving many people. The group had also been innovative in its programs. The First Salisbury Scout Group was one of the first groups to offer programs specifically for homeschooled youth, which expands opportunities for young people to participate in scouting. Today, the First Salisbury Scout Group remains active and thriving in the local community.
Many of those who will be presenting tonight are youth commissioners. The youth commissioner team is made up of 19 young members of Scouts SA between the ages of 13 and 25. We come from many different groups across many districts and are intended as the youth voice of Scouts SA. Over the past 3 years, the youth commissioners have been key for running events representing Scout SA and informing change within our organisation. The Youth Commissioner team has been continuously growing over the years, and with this growth has come with change in how we operate. As of 2026, our team has been divided into portfolios. They are representation and engagement, with the aim of improving Scout SA's engagement with the government to expand outreach within the community, social impact, with the aim of collecting impactful data and supporting advocacy efforts, while communicating Scout SA's work with our membership and the wider community, and youth initiatives, with the aim of leading active initiatives in response to needs of the organisation, coordinate and consultation with young people, to ensure alignment to youth needs. The Youth Commissioners are proud to be such an integral part of our organisation, and we look forward to seeing you all at the upcoming events. We will now share a short video with you all. We hope you enjoy.
Hey, big news! Scouts Australia has joined Resilient Youth Australia to learn more about our 47,000 youth members. We've compared a statistically significant sample of Scouts aged 8 to 18 with 110,000 of their peers across Australia, and it seems Scouts are surprisingly resilient.
Scouting makes me more positive because it usually pushes me to do stuff I don't normally do at home.
I feel like Scouts are more positive because we're outdoors all day and meeting new people gives a really positive impact on how we feel.
Because leaders strongly encourage you to do things, but they don't make you do things.
It's such a positive and welcoming community, and it's hard to feel negative around such nice people.
Because Scouting is so diverse, you work with so many different activity groups and teams and committees, and everyone's just there for the same goal of having a good time.
I feel confident. I'm like, oh hey, a new person, I'm gonna go say hi.
With Scouting, you learn a lot about people and everyone is different in their own way.
But we all connect over the same way. We're all Scouts and are all there to learn and have fun.
I feel good about myself because I do a lot of camping, have a lot of friends, doing challenges, and makes me feel good after I do them.
We are surrounded by positive people that encourage us and provide opportunities that we would never get.
In my group, there's lots of people, young and old, and they're really kind, friendly, encouraging people, and they're just nice people to be around.
In Scouts, there's so many opportunities to do different activities. Every other weekend, there'll be a camp of some variety or an activity. We want to be active, we want to be out, we want to be having fun.
I usually like going outside, helping people, riding my bikes, doing activities.
I like camping, doing adventures and having fun. I like going for walks and camping.
I like being outdoors and doing adventurous stuff.
We're going on a bike ride for 4 hours and it goes for about 10k.
We get out, we hike, we camp, we laugh, we have dance parties. There's just so many opportunities and there's always something going on.
Helping people is part of the Scout promise, and it's really good when you get to go out and help the community.
So I'm a CFA member. So I've learnt to fight fires and assist people in emergencies, and Scouts inspired me to go and do that.
I like helping people because I know when I help people, it's always going to come back to me in a good way.
I help people because it just makes me feel good.
Helping other people is something I learnt from a young age, and I still do it to this day.
Scouts are kind and helpful. We want people to be happy. Scouts don't usually use devices because they're normally going outside and enjoying nature, not Mum, can I go on my PS5 or Xbox or VR headset?
We get the opportunities to go see the world, explore Australia and just have fun. We're out and about and have that experience, so why would we not take it? Why spend it on the phones when we can go and explore?
Because we're always doing something in Scouts and it's always something fun and engaging, we're not really using our phones at all. And so I bring those habits home and I'm not really using my phone at home that much.
Scouting makes me feel really good because I've made a bunch of friends, and it's not just in my group, it's around the state.
I believe Scouting gives young members the opportunity to grow in a safe and comfortable environment and just be themselves.
You learn how to be very confident in yourself.
I think in Scouts there's a lot of problem solving and new challenges and things that you have to overcome.
When a Scout faces their problems, they grow themselves to be a better Scout and be a better person for the community.
I deal with it myself, and if I still need help, I ask a grown-up to help me.
We recognise our problems, and it's better to deal with them head on and get rid of them.
We want to be positive and not have a bad day.
In Scouting, we have so many leaders and adults that we can trust and we can go to if we have any issues or problems.
In Scouts, you can trust people and everyone's really friendly.
They make it really easy to be able to address those problems and have stuff sorted through Scouting. So if there's a problem and something comes up, you can just go to a leader or anyone, or even just emailing like ChildSafe, and they'll help it get sorted.
In Scouts, we become curious people, learn to put our phones down, and so I think reading a book is a good way to use our time and also relax and expand our curiosity.
Reading keeps me engaged and it keeps my mind active and also helps me block out distractions.
So I went on my King Scout hike. It was 4 days and I read every single night. I just thought, I cannot live if I'm not reading.
In books there's adventure, in Scouts there's adventure. And in books there's creativity, in Scouts there's creativity, and more.
Studies already show that the main indicator of Year 12 success is balancing study with an extracurricular activity that is social, outdoor, with defined goals, and supported by trusted adults. So, Venture Scouts enjoy advantages in their final years of school. They feel more connected at school than non-Scouts, report a better school experience, have better friendships, include people who are different to them, are more hopeful, have positive attitudes that help them solve problems, use their experience to address challenges, feel more protected, have improved mental well-being, and score high on reflective attitudes and coping skills. Looks like I'm doing Venturers!
Wow, what a great video about the impact Scouting can have on young people. I'd now like to introduce the Scouts SA Chief Commissioner, John Clark.
Okay, what a sea of interesting faces. Hey, I'd not acknowledged that tonight our AGM is being held on the lands of the Kaurna people, and I hope that Scouting can continue on the plains, in the hills, along the rivers and the seas of our Kaurna friends for many years to come. Welcome to our guests, and I also want to express my gratitude to all of our volunteers and staff who have worked so hard in many different ways to deliver the Scouting program over the last 12 months. All of this is to ensure that young people in our care are truly ready for life. We just had a video. Who thinks the resiliency survey results are accurate? Hands up, yeah, or hands down. So we think they're accurate, that Scouts are resilient. Do we agree with that statement? Yes. Oh, good. There's some action in the front row at least. Okay. Yep, Scouts are resilient, and I certainly agree. When you're standing at a jamboree or any big Scouting event, you watch the engagement, the energy, the joy, the learning, the mateship. You certainly then know that we are doing something right. If young people stay with us long enough, we do help them develop resilient skills, and we should all be proud of doing that. But, there is a but, and there's a big question. Are we, Scouts SA, that's all of us, a resilient organisation? Let's think about that one for a second. Can we be strong? Are we robust? And can we continue to evolve so that we remain relevant in society today? Hands up if you think we can. Oh, thank goodness I got some hands up this time. Whoa, getting worried. I hope there were hands up at home as well. And of course, I agree. But right now, we need to be prepared to take some risks. So much is changing. We have started a journey to evolve, to ensure we meet the needs of our community and that people have the time and the desire to want to engage with us. It can be done if we work together. We accept that not everything can stay the same. We do our best to build a positive Scouting culture that welcomes everyone into our organisation. We support the changes needed to ensure a resilient organisation. even when the change creates some maybe personal discomfort. Our 2030 strategy is focused on delivering 4 key things. 1, empowering programs, inspiring every young person to discover their best self. 2, innovative pathways, reaching new communities with new ways to belong in Scouting. 3, supported volunteers. That's where we have valued people empowered to make a difference. And number 4, a united culture, a critical element, a movement that's built on trust, inclusion, and shared purpose. Bold decisions and actions are already being taken to ensure that Scouting is robust well into the future. It's important that we do unite together to support those actions. From the sale of our recycling business to enable a new, more sustainable financial approaches, or the new volunteering model currently being trialled in Mawson District, it's reshaping what it means to be a volunteer in Scouting in Australia. Our future planning team is supporting the merger of groups to help create both success and growth, improving facilities and making our properties more relevant and engaging, not just for our members, but for the wider community. Support for our program delivery, well, that's also evolving. We are seeing the return of some older structures, reshaped though to meet needs today. Big events are on the calendar and new teams are being developed to support program delivery in all of our units. We've never had so many options for outdoor adventure, and training pathways continue to evolve to better meet the needs of our volunteers. The potential new volunteer model will also bring a whole new approach to volunteer training. It's going to be exciting. And as a side note, deliberate to use the word volunteer, because research suggests that people don't want to be leaders because of the time commitment associated with that word, but they are willing to volunteer. Next week, a new development team starts at head office with the ambition to build connections and secure funding to deliver alternative programs for the youth of South Australia. Traditional Scouting is critical, but if we want to remain relevant, we also need new approaches that allow us to say things like, wow, 150,000 young people every year connect with Scouting in some way. And that would be pretty amazing. Soon we'll be advertising for staff to work with groups and units to support the implementation of the new volunteer model and to mentor volunteers in program delivery. We're also continuing to review procedures to simplify administration. The loss of Operoo has been a bit of a mess in that whole thing. It's been a bit of a distraction, although consent to go trials are now well underway. To ensure success, we have key people debating, challenging, engaging, and working hard in national teams to make sure that Scouts Australia meets our needs as well. This includes responding to the significant pressure that redress is creating for our organisation. Hey, the future looks bright, but we still need to make bold decisions to move forward. And we all need to be involved if we want success. We need to work, though, as one team, whether it's at a group level, a district, an activity team, or branch. It's one program, and so it needs one team of collaborators to ensure the successful delivery of Scouting in South Australia. We often talk about being adventurous, challenging, and inclusive, but there's a word missing, and the missing word is, oh, thank goodness someone knew it. The missing word is fun. And whatever we do, whatever our role, let's make sure that Scouting is fun for everyone. The future of Scouting in South Australia, it's ours, all of us here to shape. Everyone in this hall, everybody at home. Together, our challenge is to imagine the possibilities of what Scouting in South Australia can look like by 2030. Can we do it? Yeah, we can. Thank you for being here this evening. and thank you for your contribution to Scouting in South Australia.
Thank you, John. I would now like to pass over to Greg Warnes, the Chair of the Adult Recognition Committee, for the appointment of life members. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone, and to everyone online. Thank you for joining us tonight. And John has nailed it in terms of recognition, and that's what we're on about right now. We're going to move into some recognition of our volunteers who've been around for quite some time. The branch may confer membership of the branch for life upon any person who has given distinguished service to the movement in South Australia and must have given a minimum of 25 years total active service in any role, adult leader or adult member, committee member or other supporter. This year, I am pleased to recommend on behalf of the Adult Recognition Committee the following 10 candidates. Robert Anderson, Rob, Committee Vice President, Scout Social and Service, soon, Scout Social and Service Fellowship. Diane Di Broughton, Scout Leader, Port Noarlunga Sea Scout Group. Brian Caddy, Service Auxiliary, Scout Social and Service Fellowship and Adult Leader, Police Scouters Team. Helen Philby, Assistant Cub Scout Leader, Adelaide 2nd Cub Unit. Andre Freund, Group Leader, Lone Scout Group. Jeanette Liebhart, Affiliate, Branch Fellowship Team. Jennifer Pearce, Jenny, Cub Scout Leader, Blackwood Cub Unit. And Greg Roberts, bit fast am I? And Greg Roberts, Adventurous Activity Leader, Bushwalking Team, and Assistant Leader Trainer with the Leader Training Team. I am pleased to announce that after a pre-meeting ballot, all candidates have been appointed by the branch voting members, and we congratulate them all for their service to Scouting. I'll ask John, our Chief Commissioner, and Brenton, our President, to come forward as I read out and invite the candidates to come forward to receive their certificates. And in alphabetical order, we go to Rob Anderson. Rob's 38 years of distinguished service span group, district, branch and national arenas. As group leader at Prospect Hill, he strengthened the Venturer program, expanded opportunities through tireless fundraising and supported youth attending national and international events. His current work with the Scout Social and Service Fellowship, coordinating catering, major ceremonies and volunteer support, reflects his ongoing energy and reliability. Rob's mentorship of young leaders, leadership roles at ventures, moots, jamborees and community activities, and his strong advocacy for Scouting values demonstrates a lifetime of dedicated service grounded in integrity, enthusiasm and care for young people. Congratulations, Rob.
Well done. I'm a little bit confused by 38 years though, because I was a venturer like 100 years ago. You were my venturer leader, so 38 years can't be enough. Eddie? 1, 2, 3.
Diane Di Broughton. For more than 36 years, Di has delivered remarkable wide-ranging service across group, district, branch and national levels. Her leadership spans training teams, medical support at major events, cook-offs, district activities and extensive fundraising. Di has stepped into key roles whenever needed, most recently stabilising the Port Noarlunga Scout section and continuing her long tradition of encouraging youth to challenge themselves and achieve their goals. Her record of consistent, high standard service, supported by numerous adult recognition awards, reflects her belief in the Scout method and her commitment to strong, supportive teams. Di brings steadiness, experience, and enthusiasm wherever she serves. Congratulations, Di. Brian Caddy. Come forward, Brian. For more than 5 decades, Brian has contributed distinguished service across branch level events, combining deep scouting experience with his professional background in policing. His long-standing role as Secretary of Police Scouter Group has ensured organised communications, reliable coordination and professional standards at major activities. Brian's leadership in traffic management and event security has safeguarded thousands of youth members at jamborees, cubbarees, hikes and other branch events, consistently upholding the values of safety, respect and preparedness. He remains the reassuring first contact for many families, modelling the Scout promise through calm, capable service. Thanks, Brian, for your service. Helen Philby. Helen's 40 years of service show a deep commitment to quality programs and leader support across multiple districts. Her long-term leadership in Mawson District shaped countless camps, trainings and cub leadership opportunities, while her mentoring strengthened new leaders and improved program delivery statewide. At Second Adelaide, Helen became pivotal during the transition to the new program, and through COVID, designing engaging online scouting and ensuring every cub stayed connected. Her expertise in supporting neurodiverse youth have made the section more inclusive and confident. A clear advocate for continuous improvement, Helen quietly but consistently strengthens scouting from within. Thank you for your service, Helen. Congratulations, Helen. Our next awardee is an apology for tonight, Andre Freund. Across more than 25 years, Andre has been a constant presence in major branch events and at Woodhouse, where his behind-the-scenes skills keep the site running. His ability to repair, build and troubleshoot almost anything has saved significant resources while improving facilities for volunteers and youth. Andre's commitment to the Loans District, organising camps, maintaining facilities and supporting members, even while interstate, demonstrates unwavering service at a multi-district level. His deep knowledge of event infrastructure and his leadership in works and services has strengthened countless state and national activities. A dedicated advocate for safety and scouting standards, Andre exemplifies steady, practical service. Congratulations, Andre. Chris Ind. Come forward, Chris. Across more than 30 years, Chris has shown unwavering commitment to scouting at group, district, and branch levels. His leadership has shaped major events, youth programs, and notably the successful merger of 3 districts into the Limestone Coast District. Chris has mentored countless emerging leaders, contributed to jamborees in multiple roles, and supported both loans and local groups with practical, grounded decision making. A lifelong scout and from cub age and part of the 3-generation Queen Scout family, Chris exemplifies fairness, respect, and calm leadership grounded in the Scout law. Congratulations, Chris. Well done, mate. Congratulations. Bruce Leapart. Come forward, Bruce. For more than 34 years, Bruce has shaped youth development across multiple sections and at branch level with steady, skilled leadership. His long-term commitment to the Venturer program, major branch events, and adventurous activity training has strengthened pathways for countless young people. Bruce's calm, methodical approach and behind-the-scenes reliability has made him indispensable to events like Easter Venture, and Venturer Retreat, where his planning and mentoring underpin program quality and safety. His dedication to high standard training, bushwalking instruction, and leadership development reflects a deep belief in scouting values and a lifetime of practical service. Congratulations, Bruce. Janet Leapart. Dare I say the better half? Across 28 years, Janet has led with empathy, innovation, and a strong commitment to inclusive scouting. Her influence spans venturer leadership, leader development, and branch-level program design, including the transformation of Venturer Retreat into a flagship event. Jeanette's guidance as a personal leader advisor has strengthened leader capability statewide, while her work in the inclusion team has ensured young people of all backgrounds feel welcome and supported. She quietly steps into critical roles, often unrecognised, to mentor others, uphold safe and positive environments, and help deliver major events with professionalism and heart. Jeanette's service exemplifies Scouting's method and enduring values. Thank you for your service, Jeanette.
A lot better than that last photo. Oh, these are the better photos. Yeah.
Jenny Pearce. Here she is. For over 35 years, Jenny has inspired cubs and families through her warm, humorous and practical leadership. Known for building full, thriving cub units, she has mentored new leaders, shaped group programs and engaged widely with her local community. Her contributions to branch and national events, including multiple jamborees, cubberies and district activities, reflect her depth of experience and commitment to youth development. A respected Arcala, Jenny models the Scout promise and law with enthusiasm that resonates in every grand how. Her long list of adult recognition awards highlights sustained high-quality service across decades. Thank you for your service, Jenny. Our final recipient tonight is an apology also, Greg Roberts. With over 40 years of service, Greg has been a cornerstone of Scouting's outdoor adventure program in South Australia. His leadership in bushwalking, alpine activities, and safety training has equipped generations of youth and leaders with strong skills, confidence, and respect for the outdoors. Greg's contribution to snow venture, bushwalking courses, and national alpine programs show his depth of expertise and dedication to safe, high-quality, adventurous activity delivery. His curriculum design, mapping work, mentoring, and decades of event leadership have shaped training standards across the branch. Greg's enthusiasm, technical knowledge, and commitment to youth development make him an exceptional and enduring contributor. So congratulations to Greg Roberts. I'll now hand back to the Youth Commissioners.
Thank you, Greg. What an amazing achievement it is to be recognised as a life member and to put so much effort in to supporting our amazing organisation. I would now like to welcome Colby Ind to talk about his experiences within Scouting.
Good evening. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Colby Ind. I'm a 17-year-old Venturous Scout from the Lone Venture Unit here in SA. And for those that you do, please stay quiet about me. I've been a Scout my whole life, from going on camps whilst Mum was pregnant with me to being too young to actually attend the camps that my brothers went on. I've always been around it for my whole life. For a couple of years, my role was just pick up and drop off duty. And honestly, as a kid, picking up and dropping off, that was a bit frustrating. I remember so many times wishing I could go on the same cool camps and adventures that my brothers were doing in Cubs and Scouts. I just wanted to be a part of it. But now, looking back, I realised that waiting in anticipation was completely worth it. Next slide. When I was about 12, I started getting into adventurous activities. My first real attempt was my ASA, Adventurous Journey, on the Great South West Walk in Victoria. I say attempt very deliberately, because just about everything that could go wrong did go wrong. We were arriving at camp after dark, people got COVID, and it was a complete mess. Most people who went hated it. But for me, that trip sparked something. Even though it was chaotic, it made me fall in love with adventure. After that, I did a couple more ASA hikes with friends, but I was really just still trying to figure things out. Hiking was fun, but I had little legs and a heavy pack, and it wasn't exactly enjoyable yet. At the same time, I was going on heaps of group and district camps. It honestly felt like I was spending more weekends in a tent than my own bed. Over time, especially as I started linking into venturers, things began to click. I got better at planning, packing, and enjoying the experience. That's where I really started to find my place. Oh. On the March long weekend in 2022, I went on my first linking activity into venturers, a venturer caving weekend at Narracourt. And from there, everything just took off. Within weeks, I was at Easter Venture, and then back onto more caving weekends, this time helping out as a venturer leader. I was saying yes to every opportunity I could. The linking process was probably the most influential time in my scouting journey so far. Because I realised something important. Scouting isn't just about unit camps anymore. It became a pick your own adventure. You could choose what you wanted to do, who you wanted to go with, and how far you wanted to push yourself. That's something that I still love now. I love getting invited to different scout groups, meeting new people, and saying yes to experiences. At the time, I thought the peak of all this would be the World Scout Jamboree in 2023. I spent years fundraising and saving to get there. And honestly, even with all the... next slide, sorry. And honestly, even with all the setbacks, the Jamboree was incredible. There was a lot that didn't go to plan, but weirdly, I loved that. There's something about not knowing what's going to happen tomorrow that really appealed to me. That chaos, unpredictability, it made everything more exciting. Every day you could choose what you wanted to do. There was so much freedom. At one point on Culture Day, we were so bored, we just dug a pool and went for a swim. I think there's an awesome photo of that there. But more than anything, it was the people, meeting scouts from all over the world, all there for the same reason, to adventure and connect. The experience really reinforced why I love scouting. Since then, I've just kept going. I'm always heading off on trips. Some of the more recent ones I've done include Venture 24, the Nullarbor Caving Expedition, the Tasmania Caving Expedition, the KI Wilderness Trail, Snow Venture, Easter Venture in 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, and hopefully soon to be 2026, and plenty of caving weekends. There was even one time where I finished a trip, came home for a day to repack, and left again the next morning. It's just become a part of who I am. And it's not just within scouting. Until mid last year, I was also an Australian Army cadet, where I worked my way up to the Battalion Cadet Under Officer for Coorong. My rule has always been simple. If there's an opportunity to go on an adventure, to take it. It doesn't matter if it's inside Scouts or outside it. It gets to the point where Mum has to remind me to come home sometimes. During COVID, I even got the chance to camp in my backyard for 2 weeks straight until Mum finally made me move inside. Planning Cozzy. At Venture 24, I really wanted to do the Mount Kosciuszko bushwalk, but we forgot about time zones and I missed out on registrations. I ended up doing mountain biking instead, which was amazing, but there was still a part of me that wanted to hike Australia's tallest peak. Pretty quickly, I decided that it would become my adventurous journey. I started planning about 10 months in advance, figuring out where to go, how to do, and how to make it work. The first step was finding a mentor, someone with experience. For me, that was Greg Roberts, who had crossed the range more times than I can count on cross-country skis. I needed more recent information, however, so I tried reaching out to people in New South Wales, but got nothing back. Then Mum remembered someone she used to know in Scouts, a guy called Ben Keeley, who is now living in New South Wales. We reached out, not expecting much, but got a reply almost instantly. Ben couldn't answer all my questions, but he connected me with someone else, Matt, who had even more experience in the area. I sent through my list of questions to him and expected to wait weeks. I got a response within hours. That moment really showed me the power of the scouting network. People helping each other even if they've never met. To make the trip possible for everyone, we also needed funding, and that's where the Dick and Pip Leadership to Adventure Fund came in. Instead of worrying about budget, time frame, and challenge level. And then there were the shirts. I bought 6 flamingo shirts and screen printed the peaks and Scout logos onto them. The goal was simple, to stand out. People constantly stopped us to ask us what we were doing, which led to conversations about scouting and our journey. It made us visible and gave a good story to tell. Sorry, my script didn't print out, so I've got to get the next bit on my phone. So what's next? Well, I know my love for adventure isn't going anywhere. It's not just hiking, it's anything that gets me out there with people. Recently, I tried canyoning with the Blue Mountains, and I'm hooked. I've got Easter Venture coming up for the 5th and sadly final time, and then Tasmania for another journey on the overland track in the April school holidays. After that, I probably need to slow down for a little bit. Year 12 is here, and I can't just disappear for 2 weeks at a time anymore. That said, I'll still be out on weekend trips, Mum and Dad. No chance I'm stopping completely. Looking further ahead, the Way Out West Moot in 2027 is on the list. And during my gap year, I might even do some hiking overseas. No matter what happens, there's 2 things that I'm certain of. I'll stay in scouting and I'll keep adventuring. But if there's one thing I want to leave you with, it's this. Scouting isn't just about the adventures you get to do, it's about the people we do them with. It's a community, and it's one of the strongest communities I know. The friendships I've made here are going to last. Because as Scouts, we're all connected, even if we've never met before. We're still mates. We're part of something global, bigger than ourselves, and Scouting is something special. So hold on to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Colby, for sharing your story with us. And I would encourage any of you who work with young people to encourage them to access the Leadership Through Adventure Fund. It is available to all young people to support their adventures in locations that sometimes they may not be able to afford. So Colby's speech speaks to the testament of Scouts and the variety of experiences that we can all gain from it. My story is different to Colby's and all of yours different to ours. So now to share his story, I'd like to welcome Michael Pearce, the Deputy Chief Commissioner.
Whoa, this is a mess here. Hi, good evening. Hi everyone online. My name's Michael Pearce, and if there's something that I've learnt in my short time in this role, it's that 3 things are true in life: death, taxes, and John Clark going off-piste when he's asked to give a speech about something. So we'll throw out what I had for tonight because he went in a very different direction. No, I'm just joking. So tonight I've been asked to, quiet in the crowd, thanks. Tonight I've been asked to share my volunteering journey with you, but I think it's important that we start with my journey as a youth member as sort of reference to that. So I have been a youth member all over the place. I started in a suburb in Berwick in Victoria and continued and did most of my scouting journey in the northwest of England, in the UK, for those that understand that. Within England, I spent most of one section in one group. All of my other time in the other sections was spread across groups. But it was when I was a younger beacon explorer, which is the equivalent to venturers, that I really found my place in scouting. They were keen at my original group that I was a scout for me to come back as a young leader. And it was in that forum where I was sitting amongst a team of adults, and I was being treated like an adult, and I was being valued for my contributions, not as a young person, but as a valued member of a team. And it was from that moment that I understood that scouting was a place that could really lift young people up, and it was something that I wanted to give back to, amongst all the amazing experiences that I had doing not quite Kosciuszko, I was in the wrong country, but similar outdoor activities. But it was really that recognition as a young person and feeling valued within a team that really drove me to give back, and that's why I'm here today. I signed on as a leader not much after my 18th birthday, and within 12 months I was a trained wood badge leader. Such was my passion for the role that I took on. And I've done lots of time across Cub Scouts as my first section, and Scouts as the section that I've spent the most time in. I've had the privilege of coming into units when the entire leadership team has previously walked out, and that's probably the biggest challenge that I've faced as a leader. Rebuilding the trust in the young people after a team of leaders that they know and appreciate walks out is a really, really challenging task. I've also been in units where they've been a little bit stagnant, and as a joint effort across the leadership team, we've seen groups of 15 scouts join and grow and become groups of 30 and remain as 30 because we set up the proper handovers and the sharing of tasks such that it's not any one person's brilliance that keeps that group going, but the handing over of the baton when it's time to move on. But most importantly, across my time as a section leader, I've had the pleasure of assisting and leading youth across the sands of Wilson's Prom, the peaks of the Cathedral Ranges, and the gorges of Western Victoria. I've been thrown in the lock-in by some very enthusiastic scouts at Gilwell Park. I've taught youth to paddle. I've taken youth for their first experience skiing. And through all of this, I've been with youth as they reach their lowest lows, but also when they reach their highest highs. To this day, I'm continually driven by those experiences, witnessing our youth work through their challenges and achieving the things that they told me, they sat down in front of me and told me a couple of years prior that they'd never be able to do. Seeing that self-confidence grow in them, and for them to take on those challenges that they weren't able to do and become a new person and grow into a young adult kept me coming back week on week. If I had to pick out two highlights in particular that encapsulate this physical and mental endurance that we build in young people, it has to be the bottom right photo, where we led nine scouts and venturers, one as young as 12 years old, across the overland track in central Tasmania, 65 kilometres, remote alpine wilderness, and they all made it through. At various times they had their challenges. There were ups and downs, but we got through in the end, and you can see smiles on their faces. And for the mental resilience, the bottom right photo, or bottom left for me, is traveling to Kandersteg in Switzerland. Somebody else in the audience, Sarah, and I worked together as the health and wellbeing leads for that unit, and that was a challenge. Lots of young people that had never travelled, some never travelled on a plane, some never travelled outside of Australia. But again, they all got through it at the end of the trip and went home with smiles on their faces, having done something that would have changed their lives. So that's a bit about my journey. Now I'm going to flesh out a bit some of the carrots that John dangled in front of everyone about our organisation. So if our goal is better scouting, how do we get there? We know that we need to operate differently, but what does that mean? From a broad perspective, we can consider three kinds of initiatives that need to drive us forward into the future. There's an effort to reduce the complexities of processes and systems that are hampering us at the moment, the burdens placed on individuals and the unnecessary red tape. We can improve how we offer support to volunteers, how we recognise volunteers, and the trust that we have across the scouting community. Finally, we can attract in a more comprehensive way. We need new youth members through more dynamic programming, new talent because we're a worthwhile cause and hopefully an attractive place to spend your time, and new ideas because innovation is key to our renewal and our expansion. We apply these concepts through 5 threads that affect our membership: youth support, accessible volunteer support, dynamic group support, program delivery, and building the culture. Slightly different to what John said before, but encapsulates the same sort of things. We capture these ideas and concepts through the plan for scouting in South Australia. Imagine 2030. John asked us before, imagine what scouting could look like in 2030. Through this plan, we present a state of scouting that we intend to achieve through gradual but distinct progress year on year in the lead up to 2030. The plan is broad enough to be shaped and moulded by sudden and unexpected changes like Operu, consent to go, but specific enough to allow us to define tangible goals to deliver improvements to scouting. The plan is constituted of the 5 threads that I spoke about in the previous slide. This plan, in various variations, has been the basis of conversations for the branch leadership team for over a year. Late last year, we sat down and spent a month drawing out some specific goals and projects for each team in the BLT. Each of these projects matter because they directly impact one of those 5 threads and have the overarching theme of reduce, improve, or attract. It is important that this year we begin to deliver on this planning and to make a difference to scouting. It's now time to take action. It's time to think and look forward to positive improvements, to take our negative perspectives and leave them at the door, to acknowledge our challenges, and that they may be many, but to use them as opportunities and springboards to deliver more to the youth of South Australia. You may have noticed a heightened amount of communications from across different leadership teams so far this year. This is our signal to you that we're changing, and we're changing how we do things. Speaking of change, and John mentioned this as well, there's going to be lots of it. Some of it's going to be uncomfortable for different people. We ask that you engage with us and that you trust us in this process. We see that this change is positive, and we want to ensure that you understand, everyone understands, that this change is under the banners that I previously presented to make things better. We're making decisions with a long-term view, and we're using all the evidence that we can to make the best decisions that we can. But this moment is not just about changing the way that we do things. It's about setting up new ideas that will serve us well into the future. This might mean refreshed group facilities. It might be new activity centres to serve scouting and other commercial groups. It might be setting up sites that complement the new volunteering model, because that's going to change how we do things if it's successful. We want to hear your ideas and hear about your passion too. What could a scout group that meets on weekends for 6 hours instead of on a weeknight for 3, what could that look like? How can we strengthen our impact in our communities? How can we make sure that people's reaction to scouting is not, oh, you guys are still around, but instead, how can I be involved in my local scout group, and what are they doing that I can be a part of? In short, we've planned lots, we've listened, and we've sought to understand the forces that shape us now and put us where we are currently. Understanding this, we declare that this year is the start of the change that we need. Together, we look forward to refreshing scouting, to growing scouting, and to ensuring that scouting remains and continues to remain a powerful force for youth development and across all of our communities within South Australia. Thank you for listening, and we hope that you are prepared and excited to join us on this journey.
Thank you, Michael, for sharing your journey with us. Scouting builds lifelong friendships, friends and loved ones that we will remember forever. We'd now like to remember the following members of Scouts SA who have gone home since the last AGM. Cheryl Brady, Tony Ferrugia, Jenny Johns, Paul Hender, Franz Kirchhoff, Barbara Lowcock, Krista Marshall, Anne Morgan, James Munro, Sir Eric Neal, ACCVO, Joan Pike, David Rattray, Diane Reed, Stephen Williams, and Jack Winston. I ask that we now pause for a minute in silence to remember all those who have gone home. Thank you.
I would like to now welcome the President of the Board of Directors, Mr. Brenton Scripp, to the lectern to commence the formal meeting of the AGM.
Thank you particularly to our youth commissioners this evening for officiating the first part of our evening, and I'd now like to declare the annual general meeting open and acknowledge those present here at First Salisbury and those online. Welcome to our 2025 AGM. And I know it's 2026, but it's the 2025 AGM. I'd like to officially welcome Mayor Glenn Doherty from City of Playford. Directors of the board, Matt Warren, Catherine Affleck, who's online, Graham Baker, Janice Bates, Langdon Blight, Dietmar Gruer, Nate Keeley, and Lavinia Pearce, and Peter Richings. And thank you for your support throughout this year. John Clark, OAM Chief Commissioner, Michael Pearce, Deputy Chief Commissioner, James Sellers, the Chief Executive Officer of Scouts SA, and Jamie Drecklow, Partner Audit and Assurance at Nexia Edwards Marshall, who's joining us online as a part of our audit team, and members of the senior leadership team online and present here this evening, particularly Steve Hastwell and Jen Corbett. With respect to the branch leadership team, we'd like to acknowledge Chris Bates, Wendy Dobson, Jackson Pawlowski, and Lincoln Rieger. And again, acknowledging our life members present here this evening and our new inductees. Thank you for your service, and particularly for those contemplating your futures in Scouting. We want to stress the importance of the adult recognition process, and we'd strongly encourage any nominations for life membership or other awards, as it's an important part of our volunteer recognition program. Apologies for this evening. We have a list of apologies, and happy to receive any others if there are any that have been forwarded through the room. We'll take that as complete and move on. Thank you. Minutes of the last AGM. Minutes of the last AGM have been circulated, and I'm pleased to announce that the pre-meeting ballot, the voting members have accepted the AGM minutes of the meeting held on the 24th of March 2025 as a true and correct record of the said meeting. The annual report has been released in accordance with the Scouts SA Constitution, and the board have now approved and submitted the final audited financial statements and the AGM to the and the annual report to this AGM. To ensure Scouts SA continues to meet its compliance obligations under the Australian Charities and Not-for-Profit Commission and the Consumer Business Services, the approved financial and annual reports have now been published on the Scouts SA website. The audited financial report and annual report were made available from the 24th of February 2026, and where preferred, printed copies of those statements and the annual report were communicated that they are available from the head office for collection or via post. There are copies available here also tonight if you are interested in those. Voting members of the branch were provided the opportunity to ask questions in advance of this evening's meeting about the detail of the two reports. No questions have been received, and therefore we commend the annual report to voting members of the branch. Importantly now, I'll ask for the financial report, which was endorsed by the board after a recommendation of the Finance and Audit Committee on the 4th of December 2025 to be presented, and I now invite the Chair of the Finance and Audit Committee, Langdon Blight, to speak on behalf of that committee.
President, Chief Commissioner, honoured guests, board members and members of the Scout Association of Australia, South Australian Branch Incorporated. My name is Langdon Blight, and I have been Chair of Scout SA's Finance and Audit Committee since March 2020. It's my role this evening to present the audited financial report for the 12-month period ended 30th of September 2025, and to make comments on the report that will assist you in appreciating the factors that have impacted upon our financial results. The audited financial statements and annual report were distributed to voting members with the notice of AGM on the 24th of February. The annual report includes, on pages 32 and 33, a financial snapshot of our assets and liabilities as at the end of the financial year, and our revenue and expenses for the full financial year. My report here to tonight is really in two parts. First, to comment on our finances up to the 30th of September 2025, to the end of the last financial year. And secondly, to set the scene for significant financial changes occurring over the current financial year. Firstly, to comment on the 2024-25 financial year. As you will have seen in the annual report, for the period Scouts SA has realised a comprehensive deficit of just under $3.6 million, which is around $600,000 greater than our deficit for the previous financial year. While there are several contributing factors to this deficit, most of the impact relates to our responsibility to survivors of historic abuse, including both redress and litigation, of about $5.6 million, which is $1.6 million greater than the last financial year. Additionally, we sold around $1 million less property, plant and equipment, and we realised a slight drop in the returns from our investments. Our operating deficit for the financial year is $1.7 million. And I remind you that this deficit relates to the day-to-day operation of the business of Scouting in South Australia and includes our commercial businesses, support for groups and our youth members, and the administration of those operations. 2024-25 is 3 years into the board's 5-year plan to return to financial surplus at the operating level by 2027-28. And this put us back on track to achieve this goal under the operating model, which included the recycling business. Having commented on the last financial year, I now want to make comment on our current financial year. As you would be aware from communication to all members, Scouts SA has entered into a partnership model for our South Australian recycling business, and it has sold our Queensland recycling business. The decision to do this was made only after extensive consideration and a determination by the board that the partnership was in the best long-term interest of Scouts SA. Under this partnership, Scouts SA retains an ongoing responsibility for the daily operations. Scouts SA no longer has responsibility for the daily operations. The recycling industry is becoming increasingly competitive and increasingly automated, and the board assessed that entering into a partnership arrangement removes risk from the association and removes the need for us to fund capital investment in the technology required to remain competitive. Our approach has been substantially informed by our observation of the recycling industry in other states. Income received from this deal has been used to pay off all bank debt, and the remaining funds have been invested. The resulting income stream is expected to replace the income which was previously derived from the recycling business, and indeed that underlying principle was a prime consideration for the board. This material change in our operations now requires us to rethink our 5-year plan and what the impact has been in meeting our goal to operate in a way that is financially sustainable. We are working through this currently, along with the other impacts resulting from what is a huge change for us, given that we have owned and operated a recycling business for almost 50 years. Over the last few AGMs, I have made the observation that the respective financial years had been periods of significant change, and staff and members alike had a role to play in manoeuvring our operations back to a financially sustainable position as the main priority. This year is no different. I emphasise that our remaining commercial activities, being our adventure parks and Exurbia, as well as returns from our investments, have the sole purpose to support the delivery of our youth program and ensuring that we are able to continue to provide the necessary support to our volunteers now and into the future. And we will not be distracted from achieving that objective. As you would expect, in moving towards achieving our financial goals, challenges arise. An example is our ongoing financial commitment to the survivors of past abuse. Our payments are substantial and vary from year to year. And in the last financial year, at $5.6 million, was $1.6 million greater than the previous year. In meeting these, and I'm sure other unanticipated challenges, I can assure you that the board and management are firmly focused on our financial goals, and we look forward to updating you on our progress at future AGMs. Finally, some financial housekeeping. As per the reporting requirements of our state regulator, the related party transactions for the financial year 2024-25 were included in the financial report as Note 21 and are shown on the slide. The contracted related party transactions for the current financial year are shown on the next slide. I can confirm that at each board meeting, directors must disclose any conflict of interest relating to business covered at the meeting and are required to abstain from any decisions arising from that business. Voting members of the branch were provided with the opportunity to ask questions about our audited financial report in advance of the meeting, and no questions were received. Voting members were asked to approve our audited financial report, and I confirm they have done so. Scouts SA's current auditor is Nexia Edwards Marshall, who were first appointed at the 2020 AGM. The Finance and Audit Committee and the Board have reviewed the service provided by Nexia and have endorsed Nexia as the external auditor for the 25-26 financial year. Branch voting members were asked to consider and accept the reappointment of Nexia, and I am pleased to announce that the audit firm Nexia Edwards Marshall has been reappointed by branch voting members as the auditor until the 2027 AGM. That concludes my financial report.
Thank you, Langdon, and the Finance and Audit Committee, which you ably lead, and your efforts are greatly appreciated in that space. Congratulations to Nexia Edwards Marshall as well. The advice they provide us, particularly through the sale process and partnership on recycling, has been invaluable. I'd now like to invite the CEO, James Sellers, to explain the voting process and provide the results of the election of directors for 26-27. And that's it. That's you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I always get the really fun tasks in these ones, so bear with me as we go. I don't get the exciting ones as much. I'm here to explain all of the voting process. So from that, the CVs were circulated and the names were listed in the alphabetical order on the ballot paper and also online. In accordance with our constitution, only members of the branch and associate members of the branch are able to cast their vote, and they are the Chief Scout, patrons of the South Australia branch, directors of the board, the Chief Commissioner, Deputy Chief Commissioner, Assistant Chief Commissioners of the branch, life members, branch and project commissioners, district commissioners, branch Rover Council Chair, group leaders, Rover Scout leaders of the branch, and chairs of group committees and honorary members. The voting was made available to all branch voting members via postal and online voting, which have now all been counted. The process for postal and or online voting for the adult leader director, life members, external auditor and constitutional changes commenced on the 26th of Feb 2026 and closed on the 19th of March 2026 at 5 p.m. We had a good number. So we had 105 votes online and 10 postal votes were received, and we thank the illustrious Jen Corbett for her assistance with scrutineering these votes. And at this point, I'd just like to also thank Jen, Steve, Ange, and Paul for their efforts putting on the AGM and all of the work today. So if you could just give them a quick round of applause. There are many others that sit in behind that too, so please don't feel left out. So there was a call for nominations for the adult leader director and my next new boss to meet the current board composition requirements as per the branch constitution. The nominees for the adult leader director position were Sarah Klein and Miriam Smythe. And I'm pleased to advise that after a pre-meeting ballot by voting members, Sarah Klein has been appointed for the 3 years, for the next 3 years until the 2029 AGM. So congratulations to Sarah Klein. I've been told to make you stand up. You're a new board member. And with that, all the fun's over now, guys. I'm sorry. I'll hand back to the president for the...
running with that theme of more fun, changes to the Constitution. We get all the good jobs. In 2025, the board committed to reviewing the Constitution, which was last updated in 2023. Regularly reviewing the Constitution helps us ensure our ongoing legal compliance and alignment with current operations of the business, effective risk management, and providing a clear framework for decision making and conflict resolution. A Constitution Working Group was established to review emerging governance matters and legal compliance requirements. Drawing on a library of issues compiled over the previous 12 months, this group assessed and prioritised the items before presenting them through the Risk and Governance Committee, a subcommittee of the board, and following the committee's endorsement, the proposed changes were recommended to the board and then presented to branch voting members for your consideration. The first item was Young Adult Member Director maximum age increase, and whilst the last constitutional review aligned the age limit with the national policy, the working group saw merit in increasing that age back to 30 years for young adult member directors. This change aims to ease historic recruitment challenges and potentially build a pipeline for future leadership within the board. The General Legal Review recommended updates to reflect contemporary business and governance best practice and to ensure continued compliance with evolving legal requirements. The proposed amendments include both the revised clauses and newly introduced articles and cover, the preamble, board charter, public officer, written board resolutions, national councillors, the common seal and execution of documents, dispute resolution clauses, and other inconsequential updates such as the glossary and numbering updates, which are all there. These updates streamline the governance processes, preserve existing voting member rights and board authorities, simplify our compliance obligations, and strengthen alignment with Scouts SA's broader governance framework. Importantly, the purpose and objectives, membership categories, board composition, tenure, election cycle, delegations, financial authorities, and AGM processes remain unchanged. All votes that were received by the close of business on the 19th of March were counted. Resolutions proposed were supported by more than 2/3 of eligible voters. And therefore, it is considered accepted and approved. I'm pleased to advise that after the pre-meeting ballot, voting members accepted the increase of the age range of the young adult member from 18 to 26 to 18 to 30 years inclusive, and that was 93% in favour, and accepted to remove the preamble and include the new articles for the board charter, national councillors, common seal and execution of documents, dispute resolution and other inconsequential updates, such as the glossary and numbering updates, and that passed in favour with 91.7%. So thank you for your effort in that. It would be remiss of me not to acknowledge the broader Scouting network. Right across this state and nationally, we face many challenges, redress being one of those, ensuring a safe environment for our youth members and our adult members. We're committed to exploring and expanding upon our membership strategy, and the board gave a very clear direction to the Chief Commissioner, who has absolutely risen with the Towards 2030 plan. The team that is putting that together is really trying to underpin the future of Scouting. The board will do everything within its power to ensure that we remain financially sustainable and a compliant organisation. That's the clear separation we have in terms of our duties. We've established a subcommittee this year, led by Paul Dixon, my predecessor, for a board-led commitment to safeguarding. We see that as paramount to ensuring a safe environment and building more acceptable practices for adult youth engagement. It importantly underpins that message of resilience. We want to make sure that our leaders, our volunteers and our youth members are resilient. And part of the challenge we've given the Safeguarding Committee is looking at evidence that makes Scouting a stronger place and a safe place. We're promoting a proactive approach to wellbeing and child safety beyond our organisation. We've always focused within. Now we're telling that story outside our organisation. And we're able to do that because of the performance of our current volunteers and leaders, for which we're immensely grateful. We touched on during the finance report our support to survivors. That is a significant financial constraint and takes away our ability to invest in current scouting activities. But nonetheless, with a strong financial plan, we're trying to achieve both of those objectives, redressing our past and addressing our future. And we think that's vitally important. The Chief Commissioner's team is also looking at that structure and reformatting the way we deliver scouting at the group level, at the district level, and across the state. We heard tonight young Colby's story about the Dick and Pip Foundation being able to provide funds. We would like more Dick and Pip Smiths in the world to come forward and support scouting. Henceforth, the changes we'll be making within the state office, headquarters will be appointing permanently a staff member to pursue financial arrangements, sponsorships, and then we'll pursue grants, bequests, and donations further into the future. We need a clear pathway to demonstrate to people that want to participate in scouting how those funds will be used and how they will be used to invest in our youth members, our facilities, and the growth in our adult volunteers. The board's very committed to the resilient outcomes for youth members. We see that as being absolutely paramount. I talk about the support that scouting receives. We have the Mayor of the City of Playford here this evening, and it's through their generous support to Comedy Capers, our northern area gang show, that they were able to afford the use of the Shedley Theatre as a part of their continuing efforts. And it's those sort of partnerships that will endure scouting long into the future, because it takes the stress away from bunning sausage sizzles and chocolate raffles and all that sort of stuff that is hard, and another layer of complexity for our volunteers. The Chief Commissioner spoke about culture. As the chair of the board, I'm absolutely committed to ensuring a strong, unified culture between our state office, our uniform members, our youth members, and those that are around us. We are driven to provide a better environment for scouting to prosper, and I can only do that with the support I get from our board directors. And I'm eternally grateful for all of them, particularly those online and those that are here this evening. But that culture of being unified and being aligned is where we will get success in the 2030 plan and our 5-year financial plan, and the growth that we aim to see in scouting. It's that time of the evening where I can say thank you. Thank you to James and the team at Scout Headquarters. Angela, particularly for keeping me on time and with all of my notes throughout the year, and for this evening. And it would be remiss of me not to extend a personal vote of thanks to the Chief Commissioner for the commitment he's given to reform scouting in South Australia this year, and the team that he has working with him to enable us to continue to deliver an active scouting program. And I am very grateful for that. You're welcome to stay for some refreshments here at the end of the evening, but before we close, I'd very much like to invite the Youth Commissioners back up to offer a moment of reflection. I will formally close the AGM at that point, though.
Thank you, Brenton, and thank you everyone for attending tonight. Before we let you go, I would like everyone to undertake a small reflective activity. If able, can everyone please stand? Thank you. I will read out a few statements, and if they apply to you, please sit down and stay seated. If you don't have a seat, I would just ask, or you are already seated, when a statement is read, please reflect on these statements and how they apply to you. Sit down if in your time in scouting, whether as a leader, a youth member, or other supporter, you have watched a young person Scouts learn something new. Wonderful. Sit down if you have seen a young person develop leadership skills, if you have seen a young person leave their comfort zone and achieve something they thought they couldn't do, if you have seen a young person enjoy an activity they have never tried before, if you've seen a young person find their friends, their people. This is why we are all in Scouting. Each and every person in Scouts is here to make these changes for our young people, to teach them to grow and to enjoy life. Your support means the world. Thank you.